Hey, what's up guys? Lusterlx here, also known as Lusty, first name Jarek. Today we're going to be going over the most requested topic, which is dodging / avoiding walls. So if you've ever had any questions for me about that, I've always told you to wait for the next video, so here it is. Don't you hate it when you watch a tutorial and all they show are clips of them doing incredible in the game, just doing really well all the time? Well, that's actually a smart move. I mean, you'd have to be an absolute idiot to play clips of you losing while trying to teach people about that game, right?
Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Lusty, and today we're going to be going over avoiding walls and dodging. And these two tips and tricks go hand in hand, so I thought I'd include them all in one video. So there's going to be 10 tips and tricks total. Alright, so the first tip is actually going to be to take your gun and firmly grasp it.
Firmly grasp it in your hand. Firmly grasp it. Firmly grasp it!
No, I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and get into the first one. The first one is disable auto reload. And it's more important than you think. Some people have adapted to it and got used to it, but it's very important that you turn this off. So what you're going to need to do is click this cog on the top left corner of your screen here, your settings cog, and you're going to get this options window. And we're going to go ahead and go to the weapons tab. Once you click on weapons, you're going to go up here where it says auto reload. And now once your gun runs out of ammo, it's not going to reload automatically for you. So you can run around and hit D and it's just going to do this, meaning that it's out of ammo. And let's say you're sparring somebody, right? And you run out of ammo. If it auto reloads, it's going to take more time for your gun to reload than it will to make this animation here. Alright, so you're going to want to turn off auto reload because that's bad. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody lose a spar because both of the players are on last hit, right? They both have, let's say, 20 HP. And they're trying to hit each other. And then one person just happens to run out of ammo. And then they start reloading as soon as they run out of ammo. And then boom, the other player kills them while they're trying to reload. You want to do what I call TAC reloading or tactical reloading. And that's actually step number 2. It ties into step number 1. It goes hand in hand with turning off auto reload. You're going to run a reload at opportune moments. So let's say the person that you're sparring against is reloading. You want to take that time to also reload. While you see him reloading, it's going to give you a tactical advantage. You want to keep your gun with full ammo as often as possible. So anytime you see an opportune moment to reload, you're going to want to reload your gun. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into tip number 3, which is hold to strafe preferred. Now I prefer hold to strafe. You're going to click this top left cog just like before, and you're going to go to weapons. And I have this box checked. It's called hold key to strafe. And this is what it looks like when it's checked. This is my setup here. And this is what it should look like by default. So you're going to want to check it, hit apply. And what that does is, instead of pressing the key and the strafe sticking, you're going to hold down the key to make it stick. So I'm holding down my strafe key right now. And as you can see, I'm strafing. And once I let go of the strafe key, I'm not strafing. And I feel like if you're new to sparring, it's easier to get used to this than it is to get used to tap to strafe. And this really comes in handy for me, at least. I feel like it's smoother and it gives you more fluid movement. And whenever you strafe, it's going to be more fluid and natural. So most old sparrers who have been sparring for a very long time have gotten used to the tap to strafe, which basically means, you know, when you hit your strafe key and you let go of it, you're still going to be strafing. But when you hit it again, you're not going to be strafing. And I feel like it's unnecessary to have to tap that button that much, where you can just hold it down to strafe and let go when you don't want to strafe. and you can get used to it. You can refer to my first Spar video and practice holding down the strafe key and switching strafes as you're doing those movements that I show you there. Alright, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to number 4, which is set a custom hotkey for your strafe. So what I use is G, which I don't advise the G key because you won't be able to use grenades and strafe at the same time. So what most people do is they use the W key, the E key, or the R key. And those are all 3 great keys. I've been using the G key for years and years and years, so it's going to be kind of too hard for me to adapt to a new strafe key. So I just make do without grenades. But it comes in handy if you have a key that's closer than the 1 key, which is the default strafe key, to use with the hold to strafe key, and in turn, get to your strafe a lot quicker. Alright, so what most people do is they put their pinky finger on A for reloading, they have their thumb on the space bar for meleeing, their ring finger on W for strafe, middle finger on D to shoot, and then your index finger goes on the F key, and that comes in handy if you have any gun that uses an F function like the SMG-PK or the TMP, where you can switch between alternate fire or double fire, anything like that. It's good to have your index finger on F and your middle finger on the D key to shoot, and then have your ring finger on W for strafe. And it doesn't take very long to get used to. I'd say about 50 spars and you'll be used to that setup. I think it's the best setup for beginners to get used to. If you're just beginning sparring, go ahead and try and get used to that. Otherwise, you can stick to your normal setup if it's more comfortable to you. Alright guys, so the way that you're going to set up your custom strafe key is you're going to go ahead and press the / arrow, which is right underneath the question mark key. So you're going to press that, you're going to type in hotkey, space, and then press the key that you want to set it as. For me it's G, but you can go ahead and press W or R. So once you do that, you can go ahead and start practicing your new strafe setup. Alright guys, so number 5 is if you're going to use JILK for your left, up, right, and down keys, you're going to want to remap the M key, which is the default button for bringing up the map. You're going to want to remap that to something else, because there's nothing more infuriating than when you're sparring and then you accidentally hit the map key and get shot 1,000 times. Nobody likes that. So the way you're going to change that is you hit F3, and it's going to bring up your other options menu here. You're going to go to keys, and then down here where it says map, you're going to change M to something farther away, like maybe delete or end, something like that, that's far away. I'm going to go ahead and put it back to M because I actually use the numpad for my movement. So you can set that to anything that's farther away from your JILK keys to make sure you don't hit the map while you're sparring or PKing. Go ahead and hit OK. And tip number 6 is actually if you use the numpad. And if you use the numpad to move, you'll notice at the top there's the / key, which is the key to bring up the news board. So that's just as infuriating as when you're using JILK and you hit the M key and it brings up the map. You're sparring and you hit that top key and it brings up the welcome to era menu there. So you can also change that. You're going to hit F3 once again, keys, and what I like to do is, since I'm using the numpad and I use number 8 for the up key, what you can actually do is change I to that / key that's up there. So anytime you hit it, instead of it bringing up the news menu, it's going to move you up instead, which generally is where you're going. Since the 8 key is right next to this menu key, you can actually hit that on accident and it'll still move you up. Which brings me back to the F3 menu here. If you're using the numpad for movement, you're going to want to put the down key to num5 and also num2. So you're going to hit the number 2 on the D-pad here on this second column. It's going to say down, hit OK, and anytime you hit number 2 on the numpad, it's going to move you down as well as the 5 key. So if you accidentally hit 2 instead of 5, it's not going to shoot, it's going to move you down also. Alright, so on to number 7, And this is a very important one here. It's don't look at yourself while you're sparring, look at your opponent. And this is actually going to take a while to practice and hone the skill. Don't look at yourself. Use your peripheral vision to see yourself in the spar arena and focus primarily on your opponent. And this comes in handy in multiple ways. I can't even stress how important this is. It's a pro tip to the max. The reason that you want to look at your opponent is you can see when your opponent shoots. And based on that, you can move accordingly with your peripheral vision and dodge those bullets. Like I said before, it's going to take a while to get used to, but trust me when I say that it is much easier to do it this way than to do it when you're looking at yourself and just relying on dodging when the bullets are near you. You're going to want to see the bullets when they originate from the opponent coming towards you. That way you can make a more informed movement and dodge those bullets easier. So focus primarily on your opponent and look at yourself through peripheral vision instead of looking at yourself and looking at your opponent through peripheral vision. It's going to make it much easier for you. Like I said, it's going to take a little while to adapt to this setup, but it's going to come in handy in the long run, so I suggest you give it a try. And number 8 is to practice and spar against good people. The only way that you're going to ever learn how to do anything in sparring is to put your knowledge to the test against good spars. Pay attention to how they spar and apply techniques that they use into your own sparring technique. So the other reason that you want to practice against good people is because practice makes perfect. I know you've heard this saying a lot of times before if you played sports, but practicing against good people is going to make you better. Even if you lose, you're winning because you're going to end up being a better spar because of that. You're going to learn from your mistakes, and you're going to not make that same mistake the next time, and it's going to make sparring easier for you. And you're going to notice eventually over time that you're not going to spar as bad as you were before. Alright guys, so number 9 is kind of a two for one. Part 1 of step number 9 is to pay attention. And this also kind of goes into number 7 where I said don't look at yourself, look at your opponent while you're sparring. But paying attention is very important. You want to spar paying attention. Don't rely on muscle memory. You're not just going to want to half-ass when you spar. You're going to want to pay attention and make decisions based on what your opponent is doing. Don't just rely on a set of moves that you've acquired. Always do things off top. Look at what your opponent is doing and react based off of that. Alright, which ties into part number 2 of step number 9, which is practicing with a friend, a good friend in this small spar arena. And what you can do is you can use an Uzi and have your friend use a really good gun like an MP5 Navy or a Sten, or even something better than that like an M4A1S, etc. And what this does is it helps you practice avoid walls. And it helps you place your shots better, because what I've noticed is a lot of people, they just throw spray and praise up. They'll rely on trying to dodge bullets and just throw bullets in random directions. That's actually not the way to go. The best way to spar, in my honest opinion, is to place your shots in smart places where you think your opponent is going to end up, or trapping your opponent in a corner. And when I say that, I don't mean to wall aim. I'm saying just make your shots accurate and smart. And using an Uzi versus a really good gun in small spar is not only going to help you achieve that, but you're also not going to lose your elo and stats when you are practicing this. So avoid shots, have them throw some wall aims at you deliberately and try to avoid them, and try your best to hit them with an Uzi or a water gun, whatever you choose to use. Any low damage, high freeze gun will do the trick. It's going to be very hard to land shots on your friend while doing this, because high freeze guns are harder to use than low freeze guns. It's just basic knowledge, which is actually the point of this exercise. You're going to handicap yourself. Practice landing your shots against somebody with a low freeze, higher damage gun, and it's going to help you in the long run. It's going to help you avoid wall aims, and it's also going to help you with your dodging and placing your shots better. Alright guys, so those are 10 tips and tricks to help you with avoiding wall aims and dodging. Just like anything in life, it's going to take practice and effort to learn these things. You can't learn how to dodge and avoid wall lames overnight. It's going to take practice, practice, practice. I can't stress that enough. There's no surefire, easy way to learn dodging and avoiding wall lames fast. Just use these tips that I've shown you, take them into account, and practice. And eventually, I promise you, you will be better, and sparring will be a lot more enjoyable for you. It just takes work and effort, guys. So that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment letting me know if you've enjoyed any part of this video or learned anything. Also leave a comment if you haven't learned anything. I love constructive criticism, and I will make sure to implement those ideas into my next video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Stay tuned for the next video. Should be up this week. I'm not going to guarantee a day like last time because I have a lot going on, but hopefully it will be up soon. So I love you all. Have a great day.
$24.
Hey, Patrick,
What?
I thought of something funnier than 24.
Let me hear it.
Deb Chan.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win. Oh my god!
A new video from Lusty. Your shit sucks.